Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be talking about a good news that we have received about the recovery of ozone layer, a sustainable milestone that we have achieved. So first let's look at the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at the news and then about the recovery of ozone layer, what has happened. Then about what is ozone layer and what is its significance, about the ozone depleting substances, global conventions to tackle ozone depletion, then Antarctic ozone hole. In the end, we will be looking into a prelims MCQ and a mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3, environment. A very important both prelims and mains topic, and a question has been asked in UPSC both from prelims and mains perspective. So almost everything written on this board becomes important. That ozone layer and its significance from mains perspective, ozone depleting substances from both mains and prelims, global conventions, most important topic of this video, and then about the Antarctic ozone hole. So let's get started. And this news has been taken from Down to Earth, and it says, good news, recovery of ozone layer achieves significant milestone. So it's talk about, first of all, is ozone layer. First is ozone layer, and why is it so important that recovery of ozone layer is being talked about so much. And second, what is it that the milestone we have achieved is making so much of news. So let's see. It has been said that the concentration of ozone depleting substances in the atmosphere has reduced to reach a significant milestone this year. This is the news which is coming on and is making a lot of headlines nowadays. And then according to NOAA, which is a United States based organization, National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, they have said, and they takes out a index which is ozone depleting gas index. It says that it tracks the overall stratospheric concentration of ozone depleting chlorine and bromine from long-lived ozone depleting substances relative to its peak concentration in the early 1990s. So you need to understand from this point is, first, ozone is present in the atmosphere in which layer? Majorly, it is stratosphere. And which are the substances which causes the most ozone depletion? That is the chlorine and the bromine. And what was the time at which the ozone depletion was at its peak? That it was during the period of 1980s and 1990s. So what the NOAA has done, it has taken air samples from remote sites around the globe, and then they have analyzed it, and what they have found is the overall concentration of ODS, that is ozone depleting substances, in the mid latitude stratosphere had fallen just over 50%. This is the point because of which we have reached a significant milestone, that the overall concentration of ozone depleting substances in the mid latitude stratosphere had fallen to just over 50%, and the ozone depleting substance levels in 2022 are back to those observed in 1980s. So the ODS levels which was observed in the 1980s, now again in 2022 what we have achieved is back to those which was observed in 1980s. So these 2 points become very important. These are the 2 points which are the most important in the video, and this is the news that why the ozone layer is again making headlines. And now the pace of reduction in ozone depleting substances over Antarctica has slowed. Over Antarctica, the ozone depletion is taking place, and then even though we are able to make a slow but steady progress in the improvement of ozone layer over the past 3 decades, was achieved by international compliance. So the slow and steady progress that we have managed to do is because of what? It is because of the international compliance. And what are these international compliance? These are because of the protocols and the conventions that has been taken place in with respect to the protection of ozone layer. That is the Vienna Convention, the Montreal Protocol, and then the Kigali Agreement to it. So this was the most important news. And then in 2022, index for the Antarctic has fallen 26% from the peak values in the 1990s. Even though we are able to do better in the ozone layer progress and are able to save it, but still the ozone layer depletion over Antarctic is taking place. So the recovery of the Antarctic ozone layer has been projected that it will take place around 2070. So 2070 is the year when it is been projected that recovery of Antarctic ozone layer will take place. Now let us come to the static part of it, that what is ozone layer. Okay, see this image. So this is Earth, and above Earth in the atmosphere is the troposphere, and above the troposphere is the stratosphere. And stratosphere is the region where around 90% of ozone layer is found. So this is the region where the ozone layer is majorly found. So what is ozone? Ozone is a molecule of 3 oxygen atoms, that is O3. And ozone is found mainly in the upper atmosphere, that is stratosphere, between 10 or 20 kilometers to 50 kilometers from the earth surface. So the important points become is majorly in which region is the ozone situated, that is stratosphere. And ozone contains 3 molecules of oxygen, that is O3. Then ozone is present in the atmosphere in rather low concentrations. Then this was the major aspect that you need to know about the ozone layer, is where is it majorly situated. So it is situated in the stratosphere region. Then comes the significance of ozone, why the ozone layer is so important to us. So the most important point is that it absorbs the harmful ultraviolet radiations from the sun. Like see, for example, imagine this is the earth and this is the sun. Then this is troposphere and this is stratosphere, for example. And if these are coming sun's radiations. So the ozone layer which is present in the stratosphere will save the earth from these harmful ultraviolet radiations which are coming from the sun. This is the most important point, that why the ozone layer is so important, that it absorbs the harmful ultraviolet radiations from the sun, and the ozone molecules eliminate a big threat to life forms on earth. And it also protects us from skin cancer, which can be caused by the ultraviolet radiations, and other diseases and deformities in plants and animals. Ultraviolet radiations can also cause cataract in humans. Now let's come to the ozone depleting substances. Very important part. This can be asked in the prelims exam, that many points will be given and can be asked that which among the following are the ozone depleting substances, and one among the following can be a substance which does not cause depletion of ozone layer. So that is chlorofluorocarbon, most important. Then hydrofluorocarbons, carbon tetrachloride, methyl chloroform, halones and methyl bromide. So these are the ozone depleting substances which are responsible for the ozone depletion. So when these are the substances, when they go in the atmosphere, they help in the depletion of the ozone layer. Now let's talk about the global conventions to tackle ozone depletion. I have not written everything in detail, just be telling you the most important point. So first one is the Vienna Convention, which was adopted in 1985, and it was an action to protect the ozone layer. So this is where the Vienna Convention was the starter, from where the protection of ozone layer was considered on a very serious base, that now is it the right time to protect the ozone layer. So the Vienna Convention took place to protect the ozone layer, and United Nations members recognized the fundamental importance of preventing damage to the stratospheric ozone layer. Then after Vienna Convention came the Montreal Protocol. Just 2 years after, so Montreal Protocol was adopted in 1987, and one of the most successful ones. Then Montreal Protocol talks about phasing out the ozone depleting substances that deplete the ozone layer. So it talks about eliminating all those substances. It was a global agreement to protect the Earth's ozone layer by phasing out the chemicals that deplete the ozone layer. So this was the main purpose of Montreal Protocol and the Vienna Convention. Then Montreal Protocol also talks about phase out plan, which includes both the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances. So it talks about both production and consumption. So even the production will not be allowed. So if the production will not be allowed, then the consumption will automatically become low. So it talks about both the production and the consumption to phase out of ozone depleting substances. Then after the Montreal Protocol came the Kigali Amendment, which happened in 2016. So see, Vienna Convention was in 1985. 2 years after Vienna Convention took place, Montreal Protocol 1987. But after Montreal Protocol, it took a lot of time, and then the Kigali Amendment came in 2016. And Kigali Agreement or Kigali Amendment talks about reducing the production and consumption, again the production and the consumption of hydrofluorocarbons. It specifically talks about hydrofluorocarbons, that is greenhouse gases with powerful climate warming potential. So okay, see this. Vienna Convention talked about protecting the ozone layer. Then Montreal Protocol talks about phasing out the ozone depleting substances, that is ODS. And then the Kigali Amendment talked about phasing or reducing the production and consumption of HFCs, that is the hydrofluorocarbons. Then comes the Antarctic ozone hole. Okay, see this picture. Many a times you must have seen this picture on social media. This says, see, this is the Antarctic ozone hole. So what is the meaning of Antarctic ozone hole that it remains so much in news? See, in very simple words, this is the area, this is called the Antarctic ozone hole, because at this place the depletion of ozone layer is happening very fast. In very simple terms, this is what is Antarctic ozone hole. Okay, see this. And the Antarctic ozone hole was discovered by British Antarctic Survey scientist Furman Gardner and Shanklin in 1985. And it talks about severe depletion of the ozone layer over the Antarctic. In very basic and in very layman terms, this is what is Antarctic ozone hole, that the severe depletion of the ozone layer over the Antarctic. Then the chemical reaction which takes place over the Antarctic, on which cloud it takes place? It takes place on the polar stratospheric cloud. Very important prelims point. This can be asked, that which are the clouds which are involved in the chemical reaction in the Antarctic ozone hole, that you need to know it. They are talking about the polar stratospheric clouds. So the chemical reaction takes place on the polar stratospheric cloud in the cold Antarctic stratosphere. Very important point from exam perspective. You need to know about this third point, that the chemical reaction takes place on which cloud? It takes place on the polar stratospheric clouds. Then what happens is the increase in the amount of chlorine present in active form. Then the ozone destroying forms. See what happens, the chlorine which are present, they become active. And what happens when they become active? When the chlorine become active, it becomes active and it becomes very dangerous in nature, and it then more depletion of ozone layer takes place. As you can see, that increase in the amount of chlorine present in the active form, then the ozone destroying form. And chlorine, when is it in its active form, is called the ozone destroying forms. So I hope you are understanding this, that what is Antarctic ozone hole. Very layman terms, severe depletion of the ozone layer over the Antarctic. And the cloud which are involved in this process is where the chemical reaction is taking place is the polar stratospheric cloud. And which element is present? It is chlorine. Now let's come to the prelims MCQ, and this question has been asked in the UPSC. So it is a UPSC PYQ, that is UPSC previous year questions, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. So this says, consider the following statements. Chlorofluorocarbons known as ozone depleting substances are used. Important word here is used. First, in the production of plastic foams. Second, in the production of tubeless tires. Third, in cleaning certain electronic components. And fourth is as pressurizing agents in aerosol cans. So you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section, and the correct answer is 1, 2 and 3 only, 4 only, 1, 3 and 4 only, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So let's come to the last aspect of today, that is the mains practice question. It is a 10 marker question, and it says, do you think treaties aimed at addressing ozone depletion have succeeded in their objectives? The command given here is evaluate. So you need to tell about the positive aspect and the negative aspect both, because when it comes to evaluate, so what is the meaning of the evaluation? Evaluation does not mean only one aspect. You need to talk about both the pros and the cons. So do your answer writing practice. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.